Fiat is approaching its 125th anniversary, and this year they are bringing back the Fiat 500 to America in all-electric form. Today we are going to be checking out and driving the new Fiat 500e. So it has a 42 kilowatt-hour battery pack. It's front-wheel drive. It makes 117 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds, up to a top speed of 94 miles an hour. Again, this is a small, compact little city car. That 42 kilowatt-hour battery pack enables an EPA estimate of 149 miles of range. It also supports 85 kilowatt fast charging. So on a fast 85 kilowatt charger, it'll add 31 miles in 5 minutes, or 0 to 80% in 35 minutes. On a level 2 charger, 11 kilowatt charger, it'll do 0 to 100% in 6 hours. And when you buy a Fiat 500e, you can decide between getting a level 2 charger for at home or some free charging credits. Here are the first 3 versions of the Fiat 500e that we will be getting, starting with the red. This is the entry-level one. And then up here we have the Inspired by trims. This one here is the Inspired by Music. It's only available in black. And you see that chrome line along the side. It's got an upgraded sound system. And then over here, this rose gold one is the Inspired by Beauty. So it's the only one available in this rose gold finish. A couple other unique touches. They also have differences on the inside. They get leather interior, heated seats, and some more advanced driver assistance systems. Let's take a look at the inside of the Inspired by Beauty. So we have vegan leather seats, but they also get the embossed Fiat logo here. They're also heated. A couple more driver assistance features, but overall very similar. Really cool texture here instead of the red trim that we get on the red. This one here is the Inspired by Music, which has, again, vegan leather seats. They're heated, different trim here, and an upgraded sound system. And then here we have the old Fiat 500 for reference. It's so absolutely tiny and adorable, but you see the family resemblance. I need to get in this and see what it's like. So I fit in an original Fiat 500. This is so cool. It smells like I should be in like a car museum or something. This is very, very interesting. And for comparison, we have the previous Fiat 500e, which is slightly smaller than the new one, and the new one also has a much, much larger battery pack. All right, so setting off, we're at 90%, and it's showing an indicated 135 miles of range. And again, it's a little city car. You're not expected to go across the country in this. Well, you could. You just stop for charging a lot of times. We're down in Miami for the first drive of the all-new Fiat 500e coming to America. So Europe has had one for a little bit, I believe, but they had to make a couple changes to fit American standards and regulations. This will be Fiat's only model for the, I guess, short-term future. And I'm interested because the previous Fiat 500 was never really my type of car, except for the Abarth. That thing was hilarious. I remember in college, like, hearing the noises that thing made from the factory. It was like a resonator delete from the factory. And it just always seemed like it was so much fun to have something like that. All right, let's start off by talking about the interior. So we have a 7-inch fully digital cluster here with a big dial that shows your regen charge or your power consumption. We have the speed right in the middle, and on the left side we have a battery indicator. Very nice, clear, easy to read graphics. And then we have Uconnect screen, a 10.25-inch touchscreen here right in the middle. It'll be familiar if you've been in a modern Stellantis vehicle running Uconnect 5. Nice graphics, pretty easy to use, and it's a good size screen for a small little city car like this. We're running the built-in navigation right now. There's a lot of different EV information too we can pull up. We're following the drive route, going for our first ride in the Fiat 500. This one is the Inspired by Red. So we've got a lot of red touches on the inside. The whole dash is this red trim. We've got the logo here in red on this 2-spoke steering wheel, which is actually flat bottom too. Another big impression I already have is I'm surprised how spacious this is. So it did get a little bit bigger compared to the previous generation, about 2 inches wider, 2 inches longer, but I have like plenty of headroom here, and I'm like 6'2", 6'3" leg room. I don't feel cramped and claustrophobic at all in this vehicle. And it's also nice that we have physical buttons for various things, from your drive mode selector. We got toggles down here for that, the volume, parking brake, and then park reverse neutral drive as buttons here. There's a wireless charging pad with a really cool little skyline of like I'm assuming that's Torino in Italy, because this is built in Italy now. And there's a little made in Torino thing there, little Easter eggs they hide all over to add to the quirky, fun Italian character of the Fiat 500. This is ostensibly a 4-seater. It's a 2+2. There are 2 seats back there. I'm plenty comfortable up front here. In the back, we'll have to find out, because I'll crawl my way back there and see what the leg room and headroom and everything is like. So the back seats are not like the front seats. I don't fit. I can't sit up straight. This hurts my neck. And yeah, I didn't expect to be able to fit back here. I need to get out. Another really cool thing is these screens are standard. It doesn't matter what trim you get. You get the 10.25-inch Uconnect screen. You get the 7-inch cluster. There are actually only 2 options for the Fiat 500e. Do you want summer tires or all-season tires? And do you want the wall charger for like a built-in home level 2 charger? Or do you want some charging credits for the charging network, like free credits? So that's it. You just kind of buy it as it sits, and that's it. You don't have to go around optioning, I want this interior leather, I want this option, I want to add on blind spot warning. It's all kind of bundled together. Now, there are a couple little differentiations between the trim levels, which we'll get into later on when we talk about value. But other interior impressions, man, it's plenty spacious. Visibility is obviously going to be quite great because it's like 50% windows. All right, we are just in the normal drive mode right now. This will do 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds. That's max power. Let's go. Feels as expected. 117 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque. The different drive modes are really intended just to increase your range. I started in normal mode, and then I can go to range mode or Sherpa. Sherpa is the one to maximize range, and that limits top speed to 50 miles an hour. So right now, if I just accelerate up, what does it do when I hit top speed? Oh, yep, that's a limiter. No more. No more speed. That is to maximize possible range. I think it turns off some of the auxiliary stuff. I feel like air conditioning just went down a little bit too. So I don't want that because it is still relatively warm. We'll try out range mode, and it'll remap the accelerated position to change it to be a little more gradual, right? Because it's trying to make you much more efficient, limiting power in Sherpa mode to maximize efficiency. I don't want to do this. I'm going back into regular drive mode. Normal. Here we go. Given this is a fairly small, compact EV, you expect low curb weight, which it does. It has the lightest, I think it's the lightest battery electric vehicle in the segment. Curb weight's right around 3,000 pounds. It's actually 50 pounds lighter than the previous Fiat 500e, despite having a substantially larger battery pack. 42 kilowatt hour battery pack. It weighs like 600 to 700 pounds, just the battery pack. Compare that to like a Hummer EV where the battery pack weighs more than this entire car, right? We're on completely different ends of the spectrum. But 42 kilowatt hour battery pack, about 149 miles of range. You'll get that range number when you're doing more day-to-day, like lower speed stuff with EVs. The higher speeds you get, usually your range will reduce. Also, if it's cold, snowy, icy out, you'll probably lose some range too. But this is a around the town city car. So 149 miles, they were saying how you could go from, we're in Miami, right? You could do Miami to Fort Lauderdale back 3 times, 3 round trips on a charge. They're talking about the average commute of somebody who lives in Los Angeles or San Francisco. It's like 9 or 12 miles. So you could do a whole week of driving without charging it. And if you need to charge, you can plug it into a level 1, level 2, level 3, so forth. There's a pretty good suite of driver assistance systems too, ADAS, right? Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. So we have things like blind spot warning, the backup camera, drowsy driver alert, some things like that. And then the inspired by beauty and inspired by music ones add on to like a level 2. So on the freeway, you get hands-on lane keeping, adaptive cruise control. Not available here on the base red version, but that is included on the higher trims. And again, like I said, the ordering simplicity, there's no options beyond the tires and the charging thing, right? So it's just as built. You just go to the website and be like, I'll take this one, check the box, that's the price, you take it, and it's easy, right? They're also talking about you can order these online, which is interesting from an incumbent OEM. The new EV startups can do that, right? They do it direct, just like ordering an iPhone from Apple.com. You can buy your Tesla or whatever EV you want and get it in a store. But Fiat has a legacy dealership network, all the franchises, so you still have to kind of work with that, which means I go this way, which means you can order them online, but you'll probably take delivery from the actual dealership store itself. But it's a simple ordering process, and they said something about how invoice MSRP is just the one price. So they're not going to be playing games with how much the dealer gets it for and how much you can negotiate. You just buy it, and that's what I think a lot of EV customers have become used to. They just want to order it like an appliance, essentially. Although appliance probably is not the word Fiat wants me to use on this. They keep talking about it like as a fashion accessory or a lifestyle accessory. I don't see any independent controls for one pedal driving. So right now we're kind of just coasting in normal, and they were saying that would be what you would drive if you want to get the kind of normal internal combustion engine feel. But if I go into range mode, let's see if it changes the regen braking. Yeah, there's a bit more regen braking in range, and I guess I'll go on the Sherpa. Oh yeah, Sherpa's much more aggressive for one pedal driving. So just let off the accelerator, and it is most aggressively using regen to recharge. But again, climate turned off immediately. No, give me my air conditioning. It's still warm and humid in Miami today. It's splitter guards on a base Challenger. Boo. Actually, if we put splitter guards on this, it would look exactly like that red Challenger. Wait a second. Is that the same? That might be the same electronic button as in the Maserati MC20. That looks so familiar to me right now. I need to go look at a picture. So the Fiat 500e is built in the same factory that they build the Gran Turismo, the Maserati Gran Turismo. So they're talking about, like, you may see some similarities in paint finishes and so forth. The build quality seems fairly nice. Around town, this is not bad. Like, it is plenty of torque. They really were right on the 0 to 30 time, and that's really what matters. The off-the-line feel. Where are you going, Prius? That was not a... People are not good drivers in Miami Beach. Not at all. Let's talk about the pricing and value of the Fiat 500e. So this one here, the Inspired by Red, the entry-level trim starts at $32,500. Then you add on destination delivery of about $1,600, like $1,595. It is one of the cheapest EVs you can buy. I think they said it was like the third cheapest one on sale right now, but it's not like entry-level economy cheap. I think that's more of a fact that most EVs are just really, really expensive. Most of them that came out were higher-end luxury performance models, and we're only now starting to get more mainstream ones. And also the two cheaper ones, they say, Fiat says that those are loss leaders for the companies that build them. I think they're talking about the Chevy Bolt and the Leaf is my guess. Those two start in the 20s. They get to like mid to high 20s, maybe 30s, but definitely for like 28 grand, you can get yourself one of those. The one other complicating factor is because this is built in Italy, uses the Samsung battery pack that's built in Hungary, it does not qualify for the full federal tax credit, but your local credits may vary. And then there's also the added caveat of if you lease it though, you can get some more credits. So it's this crazy complicated game. I admit, I'm very confused on tax credits on EVs and how they work, right? There's now this like content they have to be built in US or North America, percentage and so forth, and if you buy it, if you lease it, how it changes and so forth. But if you just look at straight MSRP, this one here would be $32,500 plus your destination. The Inspired by Music and Inspired by Beauty, because they add a bit more content, they're a little more special with the nicer vegan leather interior. And what are people doing driving here? Dear, oh my gosh. They have the vegan leather, the heated seats, the more advanced driver assistance systems. But again, it's just as built, right? It's just like this complete vehicle. Those are $36,000 plus that same delivery fee. So not the cheapest out there, especially when you look at power, range. But in terms of overall experience, I've liked this. Around town, it's surprisingly spacious. It rides pretty well. It's on 17-inch wheels on not so great Miami roads here over pavements. You get the lower center of gravity. At no point did I feel like this was catastrophically underpowered. I really did think coming into this, I'm like 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds, 117 horsepower. Like, oh my gosh. But around town, this has been absolutely fine. Merging onto the freeway, I actually had to slow down because the car in front of me was accelerating at a slower rate than I was flooring this thing. Range-wise, we've talked about the charging speeds and rates. I think that'll be fine. Again, most of the time it's not range anxiety anymore, it's charging infrastructure anxiety, right? Think about gas cars. If you had a tiny little fuel tank. I've had sports cars that only do 200 miles on a full tank of gas. I'm pretty sure my Corvette, there's been times where I fueled it up and it says 170 miles to empty. So, but that's not a problem because I know there's a gas station everywhere. So with the attempts to improve electrical charging infrastructure, that should become less of a problem, especially as a city car, right? Get back to your apartment, get to the coffee shop, plug in, you find a level 3 charger. You can top up in 5 minutes, 30 miles with the fast charger on the Fiat 500e. So some final thoughts on the Fiat 500e. I like it. I think it looks cool. It has the personality on the inside. It's got nice features. It drives pretty well around town. And it's adding that quirky Italian flair to this segment. And while it is an entry-level full electric small city car, I am a little bit concerned on the pricing because if you get into the inspired by models, right, we're talking mid to almost upper 30s at that price point. And I can already see people complaining about, oh my gosh, how is a Fiat that expensive with that little power and that little range? And I get it, because while it is one of the cheapest entry-level EVs you can get because it's small and affordable, if you look at maybe like a used Model 3, a lightly used Model 3, there are other options out there that would have more space, more power, and so forth, right? I know it's not fair to compare new car to used car. You're not doing apples to apples, you're doing apples to lightly used apples comparison, and that's not fair, but that's the reality of the marketplace when you're shopping for it. I hope Fiat does well with this, because it would be cool to see the Italian brand like bring some life back into the United States market. Make an Abarth version with all-wheel drive and a drift mode and 300 horsepower, and I'll be interested. I'll line up and drive one of those 500e Abarth. That'd be cool. Is it Abarth or Abarth? I don't know. I don't speak Italian. Sorry. Anyways, the Fiat 500e. Hope you guys enjoyed this first drive, initial impressions of the all-new, all-electric 500e coming to North America. Availability for the regular inspired by red. This one should be Q1 of 24. So actually, Q1's over at this point now. So early 2024. There may be some slight delays. They were saying how they had actual vehicles on ships coming in when the incident happened over in Baltimore, which delayed a lot of different shipping routes and so forth. So these should be here soon. And then the other inspired by models should be arriving later on in 2024. So with that, we'll conclude our first drive initial review of the 500e. Thanks for watching.